Hot hatches sit at an interesting place in the market. Are they daily drivers or are they meant for the track? Or can they be both? This is the Renault Megane RS Trophy, and more than any other hot hatch I've driven, this one is designed for the track. It's a very aggressive, masculine design that's perhaps not quite as over the top as the Honda Civic Type R, but there's still plenty of vents and big alloy wheels and a big wide rear end. I think it looks really good. There's something about French design though. It's like they have their own little quirky design rule book that's different to everybody else. So we get these sort of droopy front lights here and the rear light cluster that looks a little bit like a moustache. But my favorite exterior design feature are definitely these checkered flag driving lights. The Megane is powered by a 1.8 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that outputs 420 Newton meters of torque and 220 kilowatts. It's mated to a brilliant 6-speed dual clutch automatic transmission and will shoot you to 100 k's per hour in 5.7 seconds. I really like this wheel design. I think these wheels look fantastic. They're 19 inches and they're riding on Bridgestone Potenzas, which do a great job of keeping traction, especially in the wet. One curious thing though is just here on the wheel arch, there's just this little section here that kind of sticks out. I wonder why they did that. The boot is 434 litres in capacity, which is about average for the segment, and of course you can lower the rear seats to give you more room if you need it. Underneath the floor there is no spare tyre, not even a space saver, but you do get a tyre repair kit. The first thing you notice when you get into this car are the deep racing seats. They're black Alcantara with red stitching and they're very firm. There's no electric adjustment with the seats in this car, it's all manual, and combined with this car's slightly harsh ride, you wouldn't necessarily want to be doing a long road trip in this car. The car's center screen also has a little bit of quirky design in that it's been put into portrait mode. And unfortunately, I have to report that the software that runs it is not terribly good. It's a little bit laggy, it's a bit low res, and the navigation system couldn't actually find a friend of mine's address the other day. I know where he lives, but the system couldn't find it. And then once we did manage to sort it out, I then spent a full 10 minutes trying to work out how to cancel the navigation. Fortunately, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are standard to save the day. The car's drive modes are also controlled through the center screen. In fact, you can set up profiles for a number of different drivers and you can tweak just about every aspect of the car's performance, including the color of the ambient lighting. Moving down the console here to the gear shifter, it's got a nice big throw to it and a good feel. One little quirk of this car originally being designed as left-hand drive means that these indicators for park, reverse, neutral and drive are actually not able to be seen from this driving position. So that was something I probably should have brought over to this side of the console. And we've got a couple of small cup holders down here, which unfortunately meant that I spilt my coffee on the first day I got this car. Sorry, Renault. The steering wheel has a very nice feel to it. It's a good size. It's covered in Alcantara and leather. We've got a couple of nice big metal paddle shifters here, the usual indicator and windscreen wiper stalks in the European configuration, and then a weird third stalk just down here behind it that actually controls the volume for the sound system. It's taken me all week to get used to having the buttons back here to control the volume, but you do get used to it eventually. It also controls the modes for the audio system as well. Up on top here, we've got a hybrid analog digital instrument cluster with some nice sharp graphics. It's customizable with a few different looks. And one feature I really do like about it is that it'll actually tell you how close you are to the car in front of you in terms of time, whether you're half a second behind them or 1.5 or 2 seconds. It's just a nice little reminder not to get too close to the car in front of you. Okay, this is a small car. It was never going to be great for somebody as tall as me. I'm 190 centimeters. So once I get my knees past this lip here on the seat in front of me, I'm probably digging my knees into the driver's back, but it is somewhat comfortable. Not a lot of toe room though. My feet are quite squashed by the seat though. We do have a couple of air vents back here for the air conditioning. There's a 12-volt outlet. We've got more of this nice Alcantara with the red stitching. My hair is just touching the ceiling, so there's not a huge amount of headroom. We've got an armrest with a couple of cup holders, so look, all up, it's pretty good. This car has four-wheel steering, kind of like one of my friend's Honda Preludes back in the mid-90s. And I remember being the backseat passenger in that car and really being thrown around. Here, I don't think it's quite as pronounced. So I haven't actually been a passenger in the backseat of this car, but I haven't had any complaints from the kids so far. So with that four-wheel steering, and that quick acceleration, this car does well both in a straight line and on twisty roads as well. It's so much fun going around corners. Oh yeah, this is good. A bit like driving a go-kart. It has that real go-kart feel to it. Oh yeah, a little bit of wheel spin there. Those pops and crackles are so loud. I swear, it makes people turn around and look. It's almost embarrassing. Of course, all of this driving around in the high revving race mode does come at the expense of fuel economy. The reported fuel economy in this car is 8.3 litres per 100 kilometres. Mine is nearly double that. This car has a claimed 0 to 100 time of 5.7 seconds. Let's look and see and hear what that sounds like. Let's launch it. Pulling both of the paddles on. Launch control on. Getting the revs up. And away we go. I have no idea if that was 5.7 seconds or what, but that was a lot of fun. And we're still in third gear at 100. With the front wheel drive, you certainly feel the steering become a lot more lively. And you also have a real sensation of this car being pulled rather than pushed. No matter what drive mode you're in, the suspension in this car is always firm. Okay, this is not a soft riding, comfortable luxury car. This is a rough and ready race car. And that's why I'm just not entirely sure that this is really a daily driver to suit all but the most ardent hot hatch fans. I mean, that's who this car is really made for, and that's who will get the most out of it, because this car wasn't built for suburban roads. It's meant for the track. It doesn't want to be walled in by our suburban lifestyle. It wants to get out on the track and race. And if you don't do that with this car, then frankly, you're doing it a disservice. At $56,990, the Megane RS is probably just a little bit too intense to be a comfortable daily driver. The ride is just a bit too harsh and the acceleration just a little bit too eager. But if hot hatches are your thing, then don't miss the chance to take one of these for a drive.